Welcome to episode 11 of my Nano Reef journey. I can't believe it's actually been 11 episodes. It's cool. I'm gonna try to keep this going. Let's see how long I can keep this going. Today's a cool episode because we got fish. I guess all these new episodes are awesome because it's always like we got this whole new thing. Yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. We got a clownfish. The clownfish itself right now is in quarantine, so I'm gonna show you guys how I put them in quarantine, and then I'm also gonna show you like actually picking them up from the fish store. And we did end up going to Orlando. So I feel like if you're there, you know, you got to visit a couple places. It's interesting streaming like earlier. I usually stream like later at night. So like the fish tank's off. So it turns on in like an hour. So maybe you guys will get to see it. I don't know how long the stream's gonna be. But if we stream for over an hour, you guys will see the stream turn on. So that's kind of cool. So let's check it out. So over the weekend, we went to Disney World. That's right. During Not So Spooky Halloween, we got to visit the Mouse and Jack Skellington. It's just a little over 3.5 hours away. Figure 3 to 4 hours on a normal trip. I went with my parents, and I also went with my nephew and my sister. It was his first trip to Disney, so he got to meet the mouse for the first time. Check out It's a Small World. I think it's looking better. It is cleaner. Everything looks bright and colorful. All of the movements on all of the dolls are working. I don't know. It's definitely way better than it's been years past. We also got to ride on a Neutron ride. This thing is sick. It's like you ride on a motorcycle. So you get that experience of like leaning over the bike, and there's really no like shoulder harness. So you're just completely open like that. It's a completely unique experience. I feel like everybody should try it. It was also super cool because we got to ride this at the very end of the night. So this is like 11:40 or 11:50 at night, since they let you walk the park later during Not So Spooky Halloween. But yeah, check it out. It's a 0 to hero start. Boom. But we are not a Disney review channel, nor a ride review channel. We are a Busta FPV channel, and that means that we're gonna go look at coral. WWC is like, I don't know, 18 minutes away. They're like right there. They're right across the street from SeaWorld, actually. So if you're gonna go see SeaWorld, you definitely want to go see WWC because they probably have better coral displays than SeaWorld and Epcot, right? Because they're right there. Do they actually tend to those? Do they help service them? I don't know. Maybe, right? When you walk through the doors, you're greeted with this beautiful lagoon. This display tank is amazing. I think it's like 4,000 gallons. The size of the colonies here are sick. Like you could just sit for like 2 hours looking at this tank. Just this tank alone. And they have like 5 displays. It had this really sick like Neptune controller display, which I was caught off guard by because I thought they weren't super into like controllers and that kind of thing. But apparently they've changed their minds a little bit, or at least they're trying to sell them. Who knows? Another thing I thought was awesome was this choose your own salt, fill your own bucket kind of station here. Man, I wish every single fish store had one of these. Imagine not just having a source of consistently high quality salt, but also having a choice. They also have all these awesome, like tiny, like I'm not gonna call them tiny. They're like other display tanks. They're like 60 gallons, 40 gallons. One of them is like this mushroom display, which I thought was amazing. Doesn't love this little goby. They also had like a rock nem display, and in between these displays and like they had a couple nano like all-in-ones that were like ready to go. They have like a bunch of like hard goods. I bought hard goods just because it's things that I'm normally looking for online, but they're not on, you know, they're like out of stock or I have to pay for shipping or whatever. They were there. Their main coral frag tanks here that they have for sale are pretty cool. They have like nice grids displayed for like pricing. And this is like their big display tank. They have 2 big display tanks. I think they're plugged together. I'm not sure on that one. But they're like massive. They're right next to each other. They have these gigantic power heads fucking pumping. Wow, like so much. And I would say that we were lucky to be there for feeding time, but from what I understand, they feed these tanks every hour on the hour. So I guess we were lucky because we were there on the hour, but you know, we weren't super lucky because it's not like they're only feeding the tank once a day. But yeah, we got to see the feeding on all the tanks, which is super cool. Here's that white tang that they talk about. Man, this thing is supposed to be like ultra rare, like 1 of 1 in the US. That thing is looking fat. Look at it. It's plucking at everything. He's happy. Having a good old time. Look at the tank he's in. Look at this big old nose. Let's call it a snoz. Oh, here are some clownfish. This is a premonition. We have some clownfish coming in later. Remember that we finally got Puddles of Pinto Bean Belle. We got it from Aquarium Depot, so that comes later in the video. So, but I want to show you this stuff first. I'm like a chronological person, you know what I mean? Gotta go in order. Woo. Look at those colors. These tanks are huge. These tanks are huge. They're feeding them a lot. All the corals look super healthy. I mean, yeah, there's a team of people watching over them all the time, but at the same time, I wouldn't say that it's like, I wouldn't say that's like crazy, you know? If this is Max hobby, I'm in for it. Look at this guy eat. He's like precision, like a marlin with the spear in front of him, just chomping away at all the mice shrimp. Precision eating. They have these 2 kind of like LPS tanks with the flowies, or more like mixed tank with the flowies, man. Some of the things in here were like super bright and colorful. Look at that candy cane, massive. They're gonna pour you, awesome. They have some acros in there, and then this is like an SPS only tank, but it's like smaller. I don't know if this is like acro only. I'm not sure about this tank too much. But yeah, we got lucky and they fed them like in our face. Because that's like the funnest thing about our hobby, right? Feeding our coral, feeding our fish, right? I wish I had one of those like true color clips with the orange filters on them so you can see the colors on these coral, because you really can't appreciate them in the iPhone. They really don't pick up the colors as well as like a real camera would, or even a camera with a filter. That'd be sick. This, I think, is now the most expensive coral I have seen. It is a Scully. It is $2,400. We got a peek into their coral farm, which was cool to look at. I wish they could give us like tours, but I can understand how they don't want you know, the contamination part of it. They just want people that are clean in there. We're not clean. I couldn't help myself. I had to pick up some coral because I'm here, right? So I picked up this sweet tooth, and I also picked up an angel. So I did walk away with one of the hanging kits for AI and the HMS hanging kit, and then I also picked up 2 Zoa frags, which I'll show you a little later. This is them in the hydrogen peroxide dip, and then this is them a couple hours later. So figure from time that they took them out of the tank at WWC to the time that they were in my tank was maybe 5 or 6 hours. It's not too bad. So that was Orlando, you know. I felt like WWC was something to really kind of admire, I guess. To really be taken back by, because I mean, their system is just, but like, I don't know, you're not gonna, there's no perfect system, you know what I mean? But it's definitely something to strive for. But like, I feel like, oh man, it's so much water, so it's like on a so much different scale than, like, I guess what most people have at home. And that's what's up. Aquaman, what up, Cisco? Dog, you don't like the blue aqua theme? You don't like the blue aqua theme? Now I'm like swimming. Look, I'm even wearing a blue shirt. You know what I mean? We got it going on now. You can see like the whole but yeah, I felt like I had been gone from the tank for like a couple days. I had never not been gone from the tank for more than, you know, a couple hours at a time. So when I got back, there was like, hell yeah. When I got back, there was like mad algae on the tank. And I had to figure that one out. When I got home, it's been 2 days since I looked at the tank. The tank had algae on the glass. It had this really ugly looking piece of hair algae, or maybe bryopsis, I don't know. And then these other little fragments here, which I would say look like a diatom. But you know, I ain't no scientist, so I don't know. What I did notice is that one of the inseparable Astrea snails had a lot of algae on it, and it looks a lot like this algae. So in my head, I'm thinking maybe this snail is spreading all this algae around. This is it like the next day. So you can see it's grown substantially. Not a lot, but substantially. Is substantial a lot? I think it is. I think it's the same. I think it's synonymous. So what am I going to do with my tank? Is it on the edge of collapse? I don't know. Am I looking at the uglies? All I know is I got to scrub this snail clean. So this is it sitting in regular aquarium water, and you can see how green and algae the shell is. And then what I did was I grabbed hydrogen peroxide and I scrubbed it with a toothbrush. You can see here the actual shell is fizzing, which is pretty cool. I guess that's all the algae dying. And then this is it back in the tank. Still fizzing a little bit, but man, way cleaner than it was before. Next, I'm gonna have to concentrate on this other algae. What am I gonna do with it? Will these snails be enough? Will they get into here? I don't know. Will these diatoms take over my Monty? I don't know. Only time will tell. In the meantime, I'm going to use my 2 little fishies magnet here, which I picked up at Skellyfest, to clean my tank. This is the first time I get to use my magnet. I haven't actually scrubbed the tank yet. So I really scrubbed it down. Check it out. You can really see how good it works. According to 2 little fishies, this is a new magnet that is supposed to be stronger than before. I haven't tested the old one, so I can't tell you if it is or not. But with that clean, I went ahead and I did 10% water change. That's my weekly water change. You can see the snail has been going to town on the glass, even though I haven't really seen it there. It has been doing it, so snail's been doing good. Oh look, he's back from the hydrogen peroxide dip. It is alive. I was successful. The other one is munching away over here. I moved them from the power head to this rock so you can do some damage on this rock instead of the power head. And I think it's definitely working. I can tell you today that little corner looks much cleaner than it did in this video. But yeah, I feel like it's gonna be fine. I feel like it's gonna be fine. And it's been a couple days since I recorded that segment, and it's actually holding up. You know what I mean? As far as I can tell, we're doing good. One of the things I am gonna change though is I am going to increase my water changes, because right now, I don't think 10% is enough. I think with the little bit extra like life that I have in there, with like the new snail that I'm about to add, which I'm about to show you, I need a little bit more water change. The snail video here that I showed you, like the scrubbing or whatever, it wasn't super detailed because I was doing it by myself and I didn't have a tripod like right next to me at the moment. Even though I guess I was in the studio, but I should have. But maybe I was just lazy, you know? Let's just say I was lazy and I didn't grab my tripod. So I will show you later in a couple segments. I'm going to show you how I scrub the snail, like in detail, and show you the hydrogen peroxide dip that I use and how I scrub it and what the tools that I use, right? You could say it like that. So as far as like the tank I think is doing good, and I'm happy with that. So I went to Strictly Fish. I picked up a bunch of water, and they checked my water, or my water quality, and I was like a little low on alkalinity. So that's what leads me to believe that maybe I need to do a little bit more water changes. Plus I'm getting a little bit of algae. I guess it's normal, you know, it's part of the uglies. But I felt confident enough to then pick up a fish. The fish itself isn't going in my tank just yet. I still have a couple more weeks before it's going to be going in the tank, and that's because I decided to quarantine this fish. I'm going to be following the BRS and Marine Collective's 80-20 method, which involves like a copper solution, or a copper at a medicinal value or a medicinal level, right? So he's going to be swimming in copper for a little while, and because of that, it's like copper is like a gill irritant, so you're also going to be dosing them with nitrofurazone or furan 2, or what API really calls like fin and body cure. And essentially that's just to like help with the irritation on the gills, and also to cure a bunch of other ailments that he might have. And we're gonna do this for 2 weeks, and we're gonna do big water changes in between. So right now we're only on day 4 or day 5. We're on day 5 right now of the quarantine on the fish, and we're planning on doing at least a 14-day quarantine. So that's kind of that's the next steps. That's the next steps. All right, so we just left Pet Supermarket, and we got all this stuff. Got a bunch of stuff for the quarantine tank. We're bringing home Puddles, the Pinto bean clown. We are getting ready to bring this little baby home, and part of that is setting up a quarantine tank. Because although the fish looks real healthy, I mean, there's really no way to know if this fish is healthy or not. So first step of that is to mix a bunch of water. I went to Strictly Fish and picked up 5 5-gallon jugs of RODI water, and I began to mix. I'm planning on doing the BRS 80-20 quarantine method to get 80% of the results with 20% of the effort. I don't know if this is actually low effort or not. I can't imagine what full effort is like, but first step is going to be to mix 10 gallons. Well, I should be mixing more. I should be mixing 50 gallons, but I don't have a 50-gallon jug or a trash can, so I'm going to be mixing 10 gallons at a time. Would be better to mix higher quantities, because that way you can keep it all consistent, but I just don't have the space. So I'm gonna set up my first one here, and I'm gonna try to remember the dosage that I use for this tropic marine salt. I should also be using a salt with less magnesium and calcium and stuff in it, but I don't have that, so I'm gonna be using the salt I have. So I'm gonna grab my scale and my measuring cup, and I'm gonna tear everything out, and I'm gonna start throwing salt on here. I was under the impression that I needed 220 grams of salt, but apparently I needed closer to 820 grams of salt towards the end. There is what I realized is that what I needed. So here's my first attempt at making enough salt, and I only made it up to like 1.10, which is still too low. And yeah, like I kept adding and I kept adding and I kept adding and I kept adding and I kept adding until I got to 1.026. It took lots of tries, but I finally got there, and I put about 820 grams of salt in there. Except I completely forgot about that, and then I decided to add 740 grams to the other bucket, and I was still short. Hooray! So let's call it 820 grams of tropic marine salt from this particular batch that I have in order to get my 5 gallons, or a little bit more than 5 gallons of RODI water to 1.026 salinity, which means I'm now ready to fill my quarantine tank. Apparently this is what you need to set up a quarantine tank. I'm not showing here the heater, I picked it up later, but we're gonna need an ammonia alert, an air pump, an air stone, and some tube. I also picked up an algae pad specifically for this tank, and it's a 10-gallon tank. Pretty easy. Jasmine was nice enough to clear off this shelf here, and I'm gonna put it right up next to her where she works. She works right to the left here. And now you're gonna watch me fail miserably at attempting to fill up this tank. A 50-gallon jug would be crazy. I guess the whole back of the truck. Gotta put in all the accessories, the little ammonia alert, the little air pump. And here is that first spill here. Kind of went everywhere. I should have rethought that. But yeah, anyway, these Marineland tanks have these like really cool tabs along the rim, that little black plastic rim there, that gives you like a little tab for your power cords and for your airline hose, so you don't even need like a little holder or nothing. Pretty much the tank is ready to go. I wanted to make sure I dried up as much as I could, because it is wood, right? So I want to be nice to it. There it is, full. And then here it is on. Wow, look how clean it is. Finally got the heater in place here. Also, when I had first set it up, I noticed that there was a lot of splatter. I guess the water level's too high or whatever, so I got this little top for it. And final touches, the little lid holder, the little lid grabber, whatever you want to call it. And I also made these little cutouts to the plastic here. It might be too sealed. I might need more what's this, gas exchange with the outside. And the final touch, the thermometer. I think this thermometer is way off. I might get a different thermometer in there. And yeah, I moved the heater to a different spot here because I figured in the bubbles is a good place for it to get accurate temperature. But even when I put it in a different spot, it still seems to stay on most of the time. So I might look at getting a different that leaves us here with one final thing to do now that the quarantine tank is set up. And that is to pick up Puddles, the Pinto bean Belle, who is a Dalmatian clownfish. We picked them up from Aquarium Depot. Aquarium Depot has been around for over 20 years here locally.
Una salud, pero increíble. Son fuertes. Lo bueno que son estos peces fuertes.
Sí, así oigo.
Sí, muy fuertes.
Oh, fishy, qué lindo.
Y cuando te crezca, que más bello todavía.
Mira mi baby. El primer pez
Tu primer pececito.
en el tanque de
está
sal.
Perfecto. ¿Y tú, abuela, chequeaste todo?
Sí, sí.
Ah, qué bueno.
Oh
Ya
my
tiene casi 2 meses que
Ah.
fue. Está lista. Tiene coral y todo. So, si los
Ah,
corales
sí.
están sobreviviendo,
Es por,
me imagino que el pescado.
por cosa de artes. Bueno, a veces hay corales fuertes.
Sí, también.
Entonces, cuando son corales fuertes no hay problema. Pero cuando tú quieres poner de este tipo, tienes que poner varios a la vez. Porque ¿sabes qué? Si no, él no va a dejar que entre otro clown. Entonces, cuando tú puedas, ven por otro.
Okay.
El mismo color o el mismo tipo, el mismo tipo de él en otro color. No hay problema.
Ay, muchas gracias.
¿Qué
We're
le
so
dan de
excited.
comida?
Ya.
¿Qué le dan?
Le puedes dar las pepitas.
¿Tienes como un ejemplo de la que le das?
Sí.
O la puedo comprar también.
All right, we'll be back, guys.
I want to thank Aquarium Depot so much for holding on to Puddles for as long as they did. I kind of fell in love with this fish the first time I kind of laid eyes on him. And we're going to do a lot for him. And these are all the things that we're going to be doing to quarantine this fish. We're going to be adding some fin body cure from API, which is Fura 2. We're going to be adding some copper power. And we're going to be using our handheld colorimeter for copper to make sure that we're up to a medicinal dose of copper. We're looking for 2.5 ppm copper, so we need to check it with something. So that's why I got the Hanner checker. It only came with 6 reagents, so I ordered more. So total, that was like $100, just the colorimeter and the reagents. The copper power, on the other hand, which is what Elliot from Marine Collectors suggested to use, didn't break the bank. It was like 15 bucks. And what the next tricky part to figure out was this fin and body cure from API. Originally, this was called Fura 2, which is actually called nitrofurazone, or that's the actual ingredient in there. So now it's called fin and body cure. Step 1 is going to be to dose the tank. I'm not dosing the 5 gallons by themselves. I'm dosing the tank itself here before I put the fish in. It needs around 14.47 milliliters in order to make this tank up to snuff here, up to 2.5. I did a little bit less than that, so I brought up the actual copper in the tank to 1.80, and then tomorrow I will ramp it up to 2.0, and then the day after I'll ramp it up to 2.2, and then I'll ramp it up to the final 2.5 on the third day here. In between each one of those days, I will be doing the Fura 2 or the fin and body rot treatments, which will require a 25% water change in between some of the doses. So I'll have my opportunity to redose copper in order to get it up to where I was before, and I'll take that opportunity to boost it to the next 0.2 that I need. So that the copper is dosed, next is going to be to throw this API packet of fin and body rot into it. You can see it's that yellow Fura color. I let it hang out in the tank for a little while. I also mix it up with like a stir stick. And while that's going, I figured, okay, now that my tank has the proper copper and the proper medications in it, I'm gonna check for flukes. And the way we check for flukes, or the way I was taught to check for flukes, is by doing a freshwater dip and then a 50-50 saltwater to freshwater dip. And then I decided to do a regular saltwater dip at the very end to just leave him alone. According to what I understand, in this freshwater dip here, if he didn't like it, he'd be coughing or like kind of shaking his head. He doesn't really seem to be doing that. He seems to just be angry that he's in this cup, trying to get out. If you think he's got flukes, let me know. I looked really hard in this cup afterwards with the flashlight and everything. I didn't see nothing. Then this is him chilling in the 50-50 mix. And then from here, I just threw him in a bucket and I let him hang out in this bucket for like 10 minutes. I figured, I don't know, he was just in a fresh water. He probably doesn't like it. So a little time to chill here, a little medium chill before going into a quarantine tank with the furazone and the copper. Right? Fresh water. I don't know. That's what I felt. And then finally, Puddles, the Pinto Bean Belle, gets to move. into the official quarantine tank. Let's see how Puddles does here. Puddles decided to hang out at the bottom right away, and I don't blame him. He just went through a lot. But after just a little while, he was back to his regular self, surfing the glass, looking for food. Puddles. You know, doing clownfish stuff like clownfish do. Got my big dot side. Got my little dot side. Got my big dot side. Got my little dot side. I'm freaking stoked to have my first saltwater fish in the house. Still gonna be a couple weeks before I get to introduce him into his beautiful aquarium. But yeah, lots of fun there. The next day, the directions on the API fin and body rot say to add another packet 24 hours later. That's what we're doing here.
That's
After
funny.
adding this packet, we will wait 24 hours, and the next day we will do a 25% water change. I should have mixed this into a cup with some tank water. I didn't do that, so I kind of just gently sprinkled it in. I waited for him to get away from it, and then I would sprinkle it in, but he kept thinking it might be food, so I did a cup next time. Next time I'll mix it into a cup, stir it up, and then throw the liquid into the tank instead of doing it this way. After dosing the fin and rot, we then dosed for copper, and I brought it up another 0.2 ppm, or yeah, 0.2 ppm. And the way I did that is by adding 0.5 ml of the copper power. He's chilling. Puddles is doing good, hanging out in the tank. It seems to like to host the shadow of the air pump. See right there. That's where he likes to host, right there. In the shadow of the air pump. Good job. Good job. I think he's just bored in there for right now. Can't wait to get him in the big tank. It's gonna be awesome. But man, I just can't help to think that, like, am I doing too much? You know what I mean? Like, am I trying too hard? Am I being cruel to this little clownfish? You know what I mean? I don't know. I really don't. I hope that, like, following some random thing on the internet is gonna help. You know what I mean? Because, like, I guess that's all I'm doing, right? I'm just following BRS and Elliot's advice. But I guess they're, like, you know, supposedly pros in the world, right? I'm buying the Blenny from him too, so yeah. We're gonna get a Blenny in. We have decided his name is gonna be Benny the Blenny Boss Blanco. So that'll be the next fish. So that's just like a little premonition, you know. Now that you saw this first fish, you're gonna see the second fish. That one's also being quarantined, but by Elliot, so that's gonna take a little while. And that's why I'm quarantining this fish, because I'm like, man, I just spent so much money on this Blenny that's being quarantined, but he didn't have him for sale like unquarantined, so I needed to get the quarantine one. And then, you know, I'm like, I might as well quarantine this clownfish, even though this clownfish is, I've seen it at that fish store for a while. I've been seeing it there almost 4 months. So I really think the fish is good. I really do think the fish is good. I feel like it might be a gamble to do this a healthy fish, but you never know if the fish is healthy or not. You never know if the fish is healthy or not. Oh shit, Chris just said he's turning in. All right. I think on that note, I have other fish and I have other fish tanks. You know what I mean? Here's a little update on the shrimp tank. You can see some of the plants are pearlizing here right as the lights go off. which is always cool to catch. And you can see here the female mosquito fish is massive. She is huge right now, still getting pestered by the male. But yeah, look at her. She's swollen like a balloon, ready to go. I had asked on Reddit and posted a picture of her to see if she was ready. And according to Reddit, she wasn't. But like 2 days later, she was smaller. So I think that was exactly her time. So now I know what it looks like. Her gravid spot real big. Her frantic movements. I mean, thinking back at it, it should have been obvious, I guess. But, you know, everything in the hobby is learning. I have a little container for her now. The angelfish are also doing pretty good. Their numbers are dwindling, but I think that's to be expected. Last time we counted, it's really hard to count, but I think we have something around 20 of them still, which I'm super happy with. They are currently 40 days old, and as you can see here, transitioning to flake food. They're still eating brine every day, but they're starting to eat flake. And man, that transition's been a little hard. You know what I mean? I feel like they kind of ignored the flake for a long time. And then when they did look at the flake, they would grab it and then spit it all out. But yeah, I just kept trying and trying. And actually, today in the morning, for the very first time, they ate flake first. Like I threw the flake in first, like just little crumbles. And they started going for it. So, and they all went for it. So I'm excited for that, because like doing the brine shrimp thing sucks. It's like a lot of work. The brine shrimp, like you have to use the same salinity water that you're using for the saltwater fish tank, which is now easier for me because I always have saltwater. But you get like, you know, a little cup, you get some brine shrimp in there, you wait like 36 hours, and then you get brine shrimp. They got to be around 78 degrees. And then I put them into a jar with the air stone in it, and that's how I keep them alive. When I want to feed, I have to turn off the air stone, wait like 5 minutes for all the brine shrimp eggs to get to the top, and then pull out like just brine shrimp and then throw them in there. So it's, you know, kind of like a mission. It's not a mission that I mind, but that's a mission, you know. I do feel like the fish are getting bigger, right? And the oh, he's not. Oh, okay. So I feel like the brine shrimp are getting bigger, or not the brine shrimp, the angelfish are getting bigger. So I've been like filling up that 5 gallon more and more till I think this next water change I'm probably gonna fill it up all the way, which gives them more space to swim. And that's like, you know, their numbers seem to be dwindling, but like not like a lot, you know, like maybe and I also find no bodies. So I think maybe they're just eating each other. I think that's more likely than them dying, because if they were just dead, they'd be bodies on the ground, you know, if they were diseased or something. They're all starting to almost be the same size, so maybe that's something to happen. I've heard that maybe you're supposed to separate them. I just don't have the room to do that many separations. Maybe in the future I could put like a plexiglass in the middle, so I have like one side for one and one side for the other. I might try that. Because why not, right? Why not? And that's like kind of like what you got to try. You got to be like trying new things, you know what I mean? Sometimes you follow recipes and like the steps aren't exactly what you expected, you know what I mean? So you gotta do new things, or you gotta try new things to see if they work for you, right? And that's kind of like what I did with this new snail. I did add a Mexican turbo snail to the tank. I can actually see him on the back of the tank right now. Let me see if the razor can see him, or the action cam. Let me see. You can't really see him. He's like all the way in the back of the tank. But yeah, I got a new Mexican turbo snail. He's huge. It's like 3 inches. It's like 3 inches big, and I feel like it's way too big for the tank. But for right now, it's great because he's just mowing everything down. There's nothing that stops him. He eats all the algae. And I'm kind of spot treating with him, so I'm moving around. I wish that like I knew that you could scrub snails earlier, because I think I would have scrubbed the astrios that I got originally first. But I didn't, you know. So I feel like in this case, I'm gonna show you guys how I scrubbed this new snail. Now that I got the process kind of like, no, I'm not gonna call it down because it's not down, but at least it's like, it's a little bit, it's a little bit done. You know what I mean? It's a little bit done. So, let's I think I have it loaded up here. Let's see if I might have messed up. Let's see if this is the right segment. Here's a little update on. Nope, you see, it was a wrong segment. Wrong segment. I got fired. All right, here we go. I'm adding this guy because he's supposed to be more into some of the other algae that I'm anticipating on getting in the tank. I am going to be quarantining this snail. Well, not quarantining. I'm going to be dipping this snail. I'm going to show you guys how I clean them essentially before I throw them into the tank. Just like I did the last Astra snail. I probably should be quarantining my snails, but that seems like a lot of effort. So what I'm going to be doing here is I'm just going to be doing kind of like a scrub. Same thing I did to the Astra snail. I'm going to first acclimate them here to the tank water. And then after it's acclimated to tank water, I'm going to move them to pretty much like a dry container. And then I have a little bit of hydrogen peroxide that I've mixed 50-50 with tank water. And I'm not going to be getting it onto the snail's flesh, right? Because I think snails are pretty sensitive to hydrogen peroxide. Pretty sensitive to everything, pretty much. But I do want to kind of scrub all the algae off. This guy has a lot of algae on him compared to the other snail. And it's got like harder algae. It's got like all sorts of different colors. I don't know the growth rate of these snails, but I imagine this one's older too. He's finally acclimated here, so I'm going to take him out of the bag. That makes the algae older too. I have a feeling this guy's going to poop a lot, man. That bag was cloudy. He's huge. Look at that. He's like 2 or 3 inches at least. I'm going to rinse some here of his water. Look at it. Massive. So we're going to move him down to the scrub station. My little container here, my toothbrush, and my 50-50 hydrogen peroxide mix. I think it's like 3% hydrogen peroxide to water, right? 3% hydrogen peroxide in water, and then I'm mixing that 50-50 with tank water. And I kind of really go to town here. I'm going to fast forward this. Scrub, 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 scrub. Then I get a paper towel. And I kind of wipe him off, and I dip him in the regular salt water. You can see much cleaner. I think it even looks more attractive. It's got like purples and pink hues and kind of yellow and oranges. So I'm letting the snail chill in the regular tank water for like 10 minutes. And then I transferred him here back into the tank, and I put him in an area where I figured I needed his help. And thinking back at it, I faced him in the wrong direction. I kind of faced him towards the rock. I should have faced him away from the rock, but I really wanted to see his pretty little spiral shell. I can't get enough of looking at this thing. It like sits right next to me all day, and every time I look at it, I just stare at it for a while. So I do think this is a better start, you know? It's gonna give you a clean start at the very least, or at least a fighting chance to have a clean start. But yeah, you can see the snail is much cleaner. Dare I say, fully clean. But yeah, I don't know about parasites. I don't know about other things on there. So we'll see how it goes. Check them out here in fast motion, getting over the crack in the rocks. This guy's substantially huge. He's like much bigger than the other snails, and you could tell, like, you could see all of his anatomy. You see his eyes, you see his tentacles, you see his mouth, you see everything like a lot more pronounced than on the tiny little Astra snails or even the Sarah snails. Really, all those you see is just their foot. I think the Nassarius snails are cool because they have that long, like, nose or proboscis or whatever. I think between this Mexican Turbo and the Nefarious Snails, I think we are at a tie here, even though this guy's got plenty of personality. And then finally back into snail motion to show you the final lift of the foot here and the transfer over the crack. I had a blast watching him. I was like, look at that! The world has to see this! Insert sound effect. And just let go. Had a little bit of slime there left over. It's all good. This guy left slime all over the place. And big poops. I was right. But look at his personality. Look at him. He got spooked here a little bit. He came way out of his shell. Boop. He got spooked at nothing too. That was just him. I like this thing. This is that same area, just a couple hours later. Ended up doing a U-turn and going back to the area I had put him on. And yeah, he ate pretty much everything on that surface. Later on at night, he actually ended up over here on this side, and that side now looks clean. I think the Astro Snails had a lot to do with that too, though. But yeah, imagine this guy with Puddles. Oh yeah, I think Puddles gonna like him. Kind of digging the snail, but I think I was right. This snail is going to poop a lot. It is a big snail. It's a big life form in there. And big life forms make lots of poops because they eat lots. There's the poop. Look at it. Look at the poop. Look at it. But yeah, on that note, I feel like the poop is good, right? That's what I want. I want poop, right? Like, if I don't have poop, that means that I don't have life. You know what I mean? And if I don't have life, you know, I don't know. Then what's the point of having a fish tank, right? But yeah, there's like good life, and then there's like bad life, right? Because like, I don't know. There's a lot of things now. I guess knowing more also means that you know more about all the bad stuff. So like, maybe we should be also quarantining our snails for like 76 days or whatever. Because like, I would imagine snails out of everything get the most mistreated in the hobby as far as like getting moved around and stuff, because they're so like resilient against like a lot, you know? That, yeah, I don't know. I could think that. So like maybe we need a small fish tank just to keep these snails in a different room for like, you know, a couple months. And then when they're ready, you put them in here, you scrub them all the time. I don't know. That'd be a lot of effort. But that would be the only way to do like an eradication method, right? Completely get rid of everything. So yeah, I hope that scrubbing works, or at least gives me a better chance. At least it gives me a better chance. And it's like those little things, you know. I think it's the little things that make a bigger difference. And doing stuff a little bit at a time, right, is what I've heard is good. So I'm gonna try to slow down here. I'm gonna try to slow down. I'm gonna try to do things more gradual, right? So let's do a couple little things. Let's do a couple little things. Took advantage and I used this free print I actually got from Fragtide during the Skelly Fest. I used it here for the candy cane. I figured this LPS probably doesn't like to be super on the sand. The snail, as you see, the Nefarious Snail in the back, he's nefarious, and he tipped over the candy cane last night, and it didn't exactly touch the sand, but I did see a granular of sand, like it was trying to eat it, so I was able to pluck it out. But yeah, so no good. And that's why we're gonna use this Fragtide 3 print sand frag holder, however you want to call it, to hold them up. it's made of like a TPU material, so it's slightly flexible and stretches a little bit, so it does accommodate slightly different size frag plugs. And it's got this neat kind of corkscrew feature. I guess I could even leave it right there if I really wanted to, but I don't know. I don't like the look of the crazy spiral, so I'm gonna spiral it all the way into the sand. And look how pretty it looks. But yeah, this is my first product from Fragtide. They make these 3D print stuff. They make the little feeder cups, and they also make lids. That's how I found out about Fragtide. I saw a lid at Skellyfest in the raffle, and I was like, "Ooh, I want it." I put like $20 in on it, and I didn't get it, and that's fine. So I found his website, and I found this really big form, and I was like, "I'll fill this out later." And then while I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace, as I do, I found this guy making lids, and he was local, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And when I noticed, he was Fragtide, same person, same dude. So I hit him up. We exchanged some words, and he seemed pretty friendly. He asked me for some measurements of the tank, and I sent him this little design here that I made, showing, you know, all the different ins and outs of the tank and where I would like all the cutouts to be. A couple days later, we talked on the phone, and he gave me this design. I asked for the cutout to be in a slightly different spot here. I wanted it right in the middle, like how it is in my tank, and he gave me this design within a minute. So, yep, super straightforward process. He was able to create this amazing looking lid in just a couple days. And the beauty of him being local is I get to pick it up tomorrow. So I'm going to go grab it, and let's check it out. And just like that, I have it here in the studio. Check it out. I think it's a piece of art. Super attractive. The bezeled edges, the clear net, the perfect cutouts. Super stoked with how it came out. So I think we're ready to throw this guy in a tank. Let's see what it takes to do that for me. Right now I have a little bit of a mission to do, but I'm sure you guys are in for it. So, it is right here. Ta-da. There it is. What we're going to do now, we're going to try to install it. We have the wonderful Jasmine. Where'd she go? There she is. I'm going to try it. What do you think? Pretty cool, right? Yeah, it's pretty good.
Very good. Look.
Mm-hmm.
This.
I guess maybe feeder cup could have been on the other side.
Thought this was. Oh, yeah, because this is what holds it up.
What?
Like what holds it up right now.
Exactly. Cup will be like by return. All right. So, what I gotta do here. Let's switch. Let me load up the next segment here. We do have a couple more segments, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna set up, we're actually install the lid here live. Go iPhone out. All right. Oh, and the tank is on. Look at that. It's 11. Hey. Puffed. Puffed. All right. So one of the problems that's happening here, right, and the reason why this becomes a little bit of a mission is that I'm an idiot. And I thought it'd be cool put my AI power head through the plastic up here, and then I also actually threaded the whole entire thing, so it goes through this little slot up here, right? And I don't want to undo all of the cable management. I'm just gonna use a jigsaw.
And what, we're just gonna cut off one of the wood?
No, I'm gonna cut like the top of the plastic lid here, so I can thread the little cord through it.
The new one?
The no, the old, this one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the new one. The new one is fine. All right, I'm gonna bring a ladder actually. I'll be right back. I'll be right back. Oh, you don't want to sit on the stream? Come on, take over. It's the Jasmine stream. Camera. Here.
Wish I could show you turtles.
Yo, welcome to the Jasmine Whirlwind stream.
I was like, I can't show you turtles now.
No, I think I'm gonna need you to like hold on.
Did I bring that other little step ladder?
The other little step when it's here.
Bring that out. Just DJ.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Is this better or is this better? Okay. Gotta get rid of it. Light is through this thing. I think the light is closer.
Aren't we using a whole different light system?
Yeah, exactly. I gotta plug this light.
You're gonna have to do the management all over again anyway. That light. Maybe it'll be easier. Maybe you don't even have to cut.
Oh, but I want to cut so bad. Those right around.
Think a few
It's like a
steps into the future.
small plug.
Right? Because then what? You're gonna leave that light connected?
For right now, I was gonna, because I didn't want to big of it.
Probably still.
Yeah. I'm gonna cut once. So first. Be cutting here. Okay. All right. This is to be only attempted by a professional. That's one cut.
Oh my god.
Right. See if I can. It's like death grip. There it is. So that's one cable out of there.
Oh,
Okay.
it fell into the tank.
Who's here? All right. Now we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Let's see what this. One more cut. You know what? Wait, I should turn off the power to the light. Right? So let's do that real quick. Light off.
Good. Just go out. All that.
Yeah, chilling. I want. I guess I could cut with just a pair. That I could just cut with a pair of pliers. The big pair of snippers.
Great ones.
Just a pair of snippers.
Oh, is that little?
Yeah, I think it's like wait. Yeah. Okay, it's out. Move this pop. Out with the old.
Save this for something.
Yeah, of course. Dun, 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 dun. Woo! All right, lid is going in. Lid is going in.
Hey!
Almost.
Wow, that's satisfying.
Perfect fit. Perfect fit. Ta-da.
Get an overhead shot.
I gotta get.
Looks great. Minimalist.
Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta turn it back on. Turn it back on. Oh, put it on auto. And ooh, thick.
Awesome.
See, like now the light, because it's like so much lower, lights are really good about it. How do I-
Temporary.
It's temporary. It is temporary because we have lights. We got lights. Yeah, and these here, this one's glow. So let's try glow. This one here, just so you can see it.
The box there?
Try axe. Where'd you put it?
I had to hide the axe from the nephew.
There we go. I just need my axe to open up my packages. Alright, so this. See, the light is more or less like the same size. And it has like these little has like these little plastic slides that can slide out to the side. So it'd be at least at the height of. Seems silly, but that helps a ton. But, like you saw at WWC, I did pick up the actual hinges and all that stuff. So that's gonna be probably the next stream.
Good now?
Yes. Thank you for your help, wonderful Jasmine. What time is Hecties? 1. Okay, perfect. I'm on time. So yeah, so there's the lights on. I think with this, you know, oh, let me put the fan back on top. I probably got to get a different fan now. Kind of blow down. But yeah, that's gonna be one of the things. That's gonna be one of the things for sure here. You could actually like tell it's like brighter in there because the light is closer. So definitely want to get the new lights. I think that's gonna be important. But I mean, that's all it takes. You know what I mean? I think there's gonna be there's like two big things that I'm gonna do. There's gonna be the in tank like little like filter basket, and then there's also gonna be the light install. Those are two big things coming. But with this, I feel like we've set up our tank for a little bit more success now that we have more gas exchange, right? Chris Stewart always says I need more gas exchange, and I breathe too hard, so I have too much O2 in the room. I don't know. I don't think any of that's real. I think all that's hocus pocus. But maybe I'm wrong. You know? Maybe I'm wrong. I wish I wasn't wrong. But maybe I am. This final update is just to view kind of like the status of the organization of the tank that I got going on right now. I took the time and I cleaned everything out, make sure everything's nice and neat. I got these cable organizers and I sticker bombed everything. The cable organizer at the bottom is holding all the cables, but the one on top is holding fish food right now. And then the power bar I kind of organized a little bit. I got that orange power brick and I got these 3 extension cords, which I haven't installed yet. And hopefully this area here will become more useful with one of those cable organizers. I think it could fit in here. And then I have all my colorimeters and kind of like all my hard goods down here. Aiden! And yeah. I feel like everything is going really, really good. You know? Gotta throw in that really. I did a test recently. It looked like my ALK was a little low, like around 6.0. But the rest of the parameters were fine. Magnesium a little high. You know, Chris Stewart says it's fine. I feel like everything looks okay. Especially for it being such a new tank. Man, like look at everything. Everything's looking good. I couldn't be happier with the state of the tank right now. There are some uglies. There are some uglies beginning to appear. I'm just about to get to I guess I'm at the 3-week mark right now. So usually the uglies are like the 1 month in, but I feel like with the pods that I added and the different kind of snails that I have, I might have a fighting chance. I might have a fighting chance against the uglies. But only time will tell. Only time will tell. Look at all that ugly stuff. It's beginning to emerge. And then we got the obligatory Acnet time-lapse shots. The ones in the middle are called Rosses. They used to be like Holy Grail back in the day when I used to first got into fish tanks 12 years ago. Now they're just chill. Oh, they got upset. These are the candy canes. They got like these tentacles that come out at night. They like feed like little blip, blip, blip. And even the, I mean, even the little like Monty's doing fine. This is still waking up, so it's still not open, but the polyps still extending. I was like pretty stoked. Pretty stoked because I was scared. I thought the Monty was going. I thought the Monty was done. But yeah, I didn't check it out. This is the stream studio. Got the setup, man. I've worked hard on the setup, and we're trying to make like this side here all like fish tank stuff. Because if we could do like this is like the controller for it, so it's got like a little computer and everything, and then as you go down towards the bottom, there's just gonna be like water replenishment for the tank, like dosing stuff and like do that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that's it. That's it for the stream. I'm actually gonna go to my brother-in-law's birthday party. He's having like a beach, no, not a beach, like a pool bash. So I'm super down with that. Gonna go drink some brewskis. I have like a bunch of IPAs. Yeah. I mean, Aiden, essentially that's all I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to document the tank, and there's a lot of recipes, but nobody shows like the super progression of like everything happening. So why not really show it? You know what I mean? Like if we could actually show like what this looks like week after week, month after month, maybe somebody else will be inspired to like try it themselves. You know what I mean? I've done it before. I've done it a long time ago. I did it like 12 years ago. So, and I did it even before then. I did like 15 years ago. Before then, even smaller tanks. So I was kind of wild. But yeah, I'm excited to see what this, for me, bigger tank is gonna hold for us. I'm excited for the new lights, and that's probably what we're gonna do next episode. Where's those brackets? Yeah, right. Oh, here they are. Yeah, these are the hanging brackets. So next episode, we're gonna be drilling into my roof to put like wires down so that the lights can be suspended over the tank, and you could raise them or lower them so you can like change the amount of shadows and the intensity of the light. So I think that's gonna be on the next episode. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm out of here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll transition you out here to just the tank. Enjoy the views. iPhone here. Yeah, guys, enjoy like 10 minutes of the reef, of the Nano reef. You know what I mean? I don't know. Thanks so much for watching. See you next week. Peace. Let me bring up the tunes. Hell yeah, Aiden. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks, Chris, for watching. Thanks, Jasmine, for watching. Thanks, Cisco, for watching. Hell yeah. Gotta keep this going. I'm gonna do 100 episodes, 200 episodes, 300 episodes.